the magic of soil-free herbs. Imagine this. It's a chilly Tuesday night in January and you're making a big pot of pasta. The sauce is bubbling away, smelling fantastic, but it's missing something. That fresh, aromatic punch of basil. Instead of running to the store for a sad, overpriced plastic clamshell of herbs, you simply walk over to your kitchen counter. There, under a gentle light, a lush, green basil plant is waiting. You snip off a few perfect leaves and just like that, dinner is transformed. This isn't a far-off dream, it's the reality of growing your own herbs indoors using a simple method called hydroponics. Hydroponics is the art of growing plants without soil. Instead of roots digging through dirt to find what they need, they are suspended directly in a nutrient-rich water solution. This gives the plant everything it needs to thrive, delivered right to its doorstep, or in this case, its root tips. This method is incredibly efficient. Plants often grow faster and more vigorously because they aren't wasting energy searching for food and water. They can focus all their efforts on what we want, producing delicious, fragrant leaves for our culinary adventures. Before we can start our hydroponic journey, we need to gather our tools. Think of this as your mission kit for Operation Fresh Herbs. The great news is that you don't need a complicated, expensive laboratory setup. We're going to start with a very simple, passive hydroponic method known as the Kratky method, which is perfect for beginners. The first thing you'll need is a container. A 32-ounce wide-mouth mason jar is absolutely perfect for this. It's cheap, readily available, and since it's clear, you get a fantastic view of the root system as it develops, which is one of the coolest parts of growing hydroponically. If you can't find a mason jar, any similar-sized opaque container will also work. Next up, you'll need something to hold your plant. This is where net cups come in. For a standard mason jar, a 3-inch net cup is the ideal size. To hold your plant securely within the net cup and block light from hitting the water, you'll need a growing medium. The best choice for this is clay pebbles, also known as leca. These pebbles are inert, provide excellent aeration, and can be washed and reused for years. Of course, your plants need food. In hydroponics, this comes in the form of a liquid nutrient solution. You can't just use regular plant food like Miracle-Gro, as those are formulated to work with soil. You need a complete hydroponic nutrient solution designed for leafy greens or herbs. A popular and easy-to-use option is General Hydroponics Flora series. While it might seem like a small investment up front, a single set of bottles will last you for a very, very long time through countless harvests of herbs. Lastly, you'll need the stars of the show, the seeds. For this project, we're focusing on Genovese basil, and a common variety of mint, like spearmint or peppermint. You'll also need some rock wool cubes. Now that you have all your supplies laid out, it's time for the fun part, assembling your hydroponic system. This process is surprisingly quick and satisfying. Take your 32-ounce wide-mouth mason jar. Give it a good wash with soap and water to make sure it's completely clean. You can paint the outside of the jar with black paint, or wrap it in dark construction paper, or use duct tape to block the light. Leave a thin vertical strip unpainted or unwrapped so you can still peek in, your fuel gauge. Next, take your clay pebbles. Place them in a colander or strainer, and rinse them thoroughly under running water. Set the rinsed pebbles aside to drain. Check that your 3-inch net cup fits the jar opening. It should rest on the rim, suspended inside the jar, not falling through. Now mix your nutrient solution. Start by filling the jar with good quality water, filtered water, or dechlorinated tap water. Leave about an inch of space at the top. Read the label on your hydroponic nutrient bottle. It tells you how much to add. For herbs, a good rule is about half the recommended dose. Measure carefully. Add each nutrient part and stir well after each addition. Place the net cup into the jar now filled with nutrient solution. The bottom of the net cup should be submerged about ½ inch to 1 inch into the water, critical for root contact. Carefully fill the net cup with your rinsed clay pebbles. Fill almost to the top, leaving a small space in the center for your rock wool cube and seedling. And that's it. You have successfully built a passive Kratky hydroponic system. It's ready and waiting for a plant. With your hydroponic jar system assembled, the next step is to germinate your seeds. This is where the rock wool cubes come into play. These little cubes provide the perfect, stable environment for a seed to sprout. Before you do anything, you need to prepare the rock wool. Straight out of the bag, rock wool has a high pH, which can hinder germination. To fix this, simply soak the cubes for about an hour in pH-adjusted water. You can use a simple pH testing kit, aiming for a pH of around 5.5 to 6.0. If you don't have a kit, soaking them in regular tap water for an hour is still much better than not soaking them at all. After soaking, gently shake out the excess water. You want them damp, not dripping wet. Now it's time to sow your seeds. Place 2 to 3 basil seeds into the small pre-made hole on top of 1 rockwool cube. For mint, do the same in a separate cube. Planting a couple of seeds per cube is good insurance in case one doesn't germinate. Don't push them too deep, they just need to be nestled in the hole. Place the seeded cubes in a shallow tray or a plastic container with a lid to create a mini greenhouse effect, which helps maintain high humidity. Place the tray in a warm, dark place. Basil doesn't need light to germinate but does appreciate warmth. Mint doesn't need light to germinate but does appreciate warmth. Check on them daily, ensuring the cubes remain moist. You can lightly mist them with a spray bottle if they start to look dry. In about 5 to 10 days, you should see the magic happen. Tiny green sprouts will begin to emerge from the rockwool. This is a very exciting moment. Once you see the first signs of green, it's time to give them light. Remove the lid from your germination tray and place it under a light source. A sunny windowsill can work, but for best results, a simple LED grow light is fantastic. The light encourages the seedlings to grow strong and prevents them from becoming leggy, long, weak, and stretched out. One of the greatest things about this Kratky-style hydroponic setup is how low maintenance it is. There are no pumps to check or timers to set. However, there are a few simple tasks you'll need to do to ensure your basil and mint plants grow into lush, productive powerhouses. The most important daily consideration is light. Herbs, especially basil, are sun worshippers. They need a lot of light to produce those flavorful, aromatic oils. Your plants should receive at least 12 to 16 hours of light per day. While a very sunny south-facing window might suffice, you will get far superior results using an artificial grow light. A simple, full-spectrum LED light is energy efficient and provides the exact type of light your plants crave. The core principle of the Kratky method is the air gap. As your plant drinks the nutrient solution, the water level in the jar will slowly drop. This is a good thing. As the level goes down, it exposes more and more of the roots to the air. These air roots are specialized to absorb oxygen, which is just as vital to the plant as water and nutrients. This is why you should never, ever refill the jar all the way to the top after the plant is established. You would drown the air roots and suffocate your plant. For the first few weeks, you won't need to do anything at all. Just let the plant drink and the water level fall naturally. Your main weekly task will be to monitor the nutrient solution. Once the water level in the jar has dropped to about the last inch or so, it's time to mix a fresh batch. This might take several weeks depending on how large your plant is and how thirsty it is. To change the solution, lift the entire net cup with the plant and roots out of the jar and set it aside carefully. Empty the old solution. Give the jar a quick rinse to remove any sediment. Refill it with a freshly mixed batch of nutrients. Remember to only fill it back up to where the water level was before you emptied it, or at most halfway up the jar. After a few weeks of patient care, you'll reach the most rewarding stage of all, harvesting. Your basil and mint plants will be looking lush and full, begging to be used. The key to a long and productive life for your herb plants is to harvest them correctly. You should start harvesting once the plant is about 6 to 8 inches tall and has several sets of leaves. For basil, the rule is to pinch and prune. Never just pull off individual leaves from the bottom. Instead, locate a main stem and follow it up to a point just above a set of 2 small emerging side shoots. Snip the main stem right there. This technique, called topping, encourages the plant to branch out and become bushier, doubling your future harvest from that spot. Mint is even more forgiving. It grows so vigorously that it practically dares you to cut it back. You can harvest mint by snipping the tops of the stems, or you can simply pluck individual leaves as needed. Regular harvesting is crucial for mint, as it prevents the plant from getting too leggy and encourages it to spread out. A well-maintained hydroponic mint plant can become an almost endless source of fresh leaves. A good rule of thumb for both herbs is to never harvest more than 1/3 of the entire plant at any given time. This ensures the plant has enough foliage left to photosynthesize and recover quickly, ready for your next harvest. Now that you have a handful of fragrant, fresh-off-the-plant herbs, what do you do with them? The possibilities are endless. Fresh basil is the soul of Italian cooking. Muddle it into a classic caprese salad with ripe tomatoes, fresh mozzarella, and a drizzle of balsamic glaze. Blend it with pine nuts, garlic, parmesan, and olive oil to create a vibrant pesto sauce that is worlds away from the stuff in a jar. You can also toss whole leaves onto a pizza, right as it comes out of the oven. Fresh mint is the ultimate refreshment. Muddle a few leaves in the bottom of a glass with some sugar and lime juice, then top with soda water for a classic mojito or a non-alcoholic mint limeade. Brew a handful of leaves in hot water for a soothing, digestive mint tea that is both delicious and therapeutic. Even with a system as simple as this, you might occasionally run into a few small issues. Don't worry, these are usually easy to fix. One of the most common problems beginners see is yellowing leaves. If the lower, older leaves on your plant are turning yellow, this is often a sign of a nutrient deficiency, specifically nitrogen. This usually means it's time to change your nutrient solution. If the new growth at the top of the plant is yellow, it could be a lack of iron or other micronutrients which can be caused by an incorrect pH level in your water. Using a pH testing kit to ensure your solution is in that sweet spot of 5.5 to 6.5 can solve a lot of mysterious problems. Another issue you might face is slow or leggy growth where the plant is tall and spindly with lots of space between the leaves. This is almost always a light problem. Your plant is literally stretching itself out, searching for more light. The solution is simple. Increase the amount or intensity of the light it receives. If you're using a windowsill, it may not be enough. Move your plant closer to your grow light or leave the light on for a longer period each day, aiming for that 12 to 16-hour window. A strong, healthy herb plant should be compact and bushy, not tall and weak. What about pests or algae? While hydroponics eliminates soil-borne pests, you can still occasionally get visitors like aphids, especially if your plants are near an open window or other houseplants. If you spot any tiny bugs, you can usually just wipe them off with a damp cloth or spray the plant with a simple solution of water and a drop of dish soap. Algae, that green slime that can grow on your rock wool or inside the jar, is caused by light hitting the nutrient solution. While a little bit won't harm your plant, a lot of it can compete for nutrients. This is why painting or wrapping your jar is a great preventative measure. Keeping the top of your rock wool cube covered with clay pebbles also helps block light and keep algae at bay. Finally, don't be discouraged if your first attempt isn't perfect. Gardening, in any form, is a learning process. Every mistake is a lesson. Soon enough, you'll be a hydroponic pro with a kitchen counter full of fresh, vibrant herbs, saving money and enjoying flavors you grew yourself